Celeritas.
It's Zowie's. Okay, guys, in 3, 2, 1, and
today we'll be checking out a really peculiar keyboard from Zowie, the Celeritas 2, which retails for 549 ringgit
or $129 US.
Yeah.
As you can see, the box, it's really nice, simple black box. Very minimal marketing material. And inside the box, besides the keyboard and a cable, you get a nice USB PS2 adapter. Yeah, it's a nice USB.
It's pretty old school, right?
It's pretty old school, but we'll talk about that slightly later in the video.
Moving on.
So some background about the Zowie Celeritas 2. It's the natural successor to the first Celeritas. From its overall design, nothing much has changed except a few things here and there. Firstly, the Celeritas 2 isn't made to impress. It's a serious keyboard for serious competitive gamers who have very little interest in fancy features that end up being quite redundant. It's also perfect for someone like me who never liked rainbow fairy lights, unlike Shane.
Oi.
The Celeritas 2 is a full-size keyboard with an awesome numpad for all you accounting enthusiasts out there. The design philosophy behind the Celeritas 2 is form follows function. Zowie went with a minimalist black chassis with a matte finish and a very simple font for the keycaps. The only thing that somewhat stands out is the metallic emblem on the wrist rest, which fits very well with the overall stealthy, low-profile look. It is so discreet that you can even bring it to the office and no one would notice that you're an eSports kind of person. The 4 basic rubber pads on the base of the Celeritas 2 allows you to be a little bit more aggressive without having to worry too much about unnecessary sleeps or movements. And after all, gamers do get a bit excited during a heated match. The Celeritas 2 keycap seems like a translucent ABS with legends painted on them. They seem to be quite compatible with my cherry keycaps too. So what's really unique about the Celeritas 2? It uses an optical switch, which is quite uncommon compared to mechanical switches or any other gaming keyboards. But it gets a little bit technical right now. By using the FlareTech switches, you automatically reduce the chance of double pressing your keycaps, which ultimately provides optimal pre-travel and more consistent keystrokes. What I like about the Celeritas 2 is the fact that they didn't just throw in switches on a PCB, but actually spend more time sourcing the OEM FlareTech switches, which unlike the official ones, provide a much different actuation force and points. To take things even further, Zowie has custom-tuned the switches with the input of professional esports players, especially from the CSGO scene. In an actual game environment like Counter-Strike Go, you get much better response and a reduced possibility of accidentally double deploying your claymores or throwing grenades. In short, less chances of blowing yourself up. In case you're wondering how the optical switches sound on the Celeritas, we made a short clip just for you. The cable on the Celeritas 2 is non-braided and I actually prefer it that way. I mean, how many times have your braided cables frayed or even ripped while your keyboard is still completely functional? Zowie uses a strong but flexible sleeve for their cables so that you can coil it up real tight for ease of storage, perfect for pro players who are accustomed to using their own gear. While there really isn't a dedicated set of media keys, there are several compatible functions such as the brightness adjustment, media, and Win Keylock functions. Here's something that you don't see these days, a USB to PS2 adapter. The Celeritas 2, and in fact all Zowie products, are basically driverless. This means you don't have to install any native software at all. All you have to do is just plug and play and the keyboard is perfectly functional with all features. So for you pro players who travel with your keyboards to tournaments, you will never have to worry about compatibility issues, which makes the adapting process quite tedious. So how did the Celeritas 2 do in terms of overall experience? Now, using the Celeritas 2 for a couple of weeks, I must say that I've successfully found a gaming keyboard that isn't too loud in terms of looks and design. There is so much transfer from my MX red switch to the optical, hence making adaptation to the Celeritas 2 really nice and quick. There is nothing major that I dislike about the Celeritas 2 because I personally use a keyboard with a very similar layout. The absence of RGB really isn't a drawback, especially for serious gamers who don't like to be distracted. If RGB lights are a must-have, you may want to look elsewhere. Let's talk about some things that might affect your decision when buying pro gaming keyboards. Firstly, one thing that really irked me was how the black finishing on the keyboard attracted fingerprints. Now, being a complete neat freak, I found myself wiping down the keyboard after every session of use. But hey, some of you might not even care. Next, the Celeritas does not come with a USB pass-through or a wrist pad, so that might also turn some of you off. Let me know your thoughts about the Celeritas 2 in the comments section below.
The Celeritas 2 with its custom-tuned FlareTech optical switch technology doesn't feel that different compared to a normal mechanical switch.
Especially your MX
My
Red,
MX Red, the whole transition from an MX Red to an optical switch was pretty much easy. It was a walk in the park. And of course, if you guys are considering to be a professional gamer or an eSports player in general, do check out this keyboard.
And a lot of people might argue that this thing is a little bit steep.
Yeah.
At like 549 ringgit
Yeah,
or 129
that's
US
actually quite,
dollars. But Zowie prides themselves as an esports company, not gaming.
Yep.
So they spend more money on stuff like R&D.
Yep.
Every single representative from Zowie that we
Were
spoke to,
professional players at some point, unlike him who can't even play Minesweeper. But anyway, guys, if you can't play Minesweeper, you guys gotta check out the keyboard physically and test out the switch. And
have it feel,
yeah, of course,
have it touch,
at a store,
have it
nearby.
play.
And let us know your thoughts about the keyboards in the comment section below once you try it out.
If you thought this video was awesome, please give us a like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Hashtag no kuni.
Yeah, I'm just trying to replicate a keyboard. That's pretty bad.
It's quiet. It doesn't make sounds.
See you guys.